A few years after that alleged crash landing in a field in Trois-Canons, Jean-Pierre Blanchard was in Paris, feverishly designing flying machines. Like diplomat Benjamin Franklin, Blanchard was an inventor, and like Franklin and others in the capital at the time who were interested in scientific progress, he was keeping a close watch on the experiments of two brothers in the south of France. Joseph Michel and Jacques-Étienne Montgolfier were paper manufacturers with ties to King Louis XVI of France. Like many prosperous, educated European men of their day, they had the free time to be amateur or gentleman scientists. The ingenious brothers had discovered a way of trapping heated air in a giant bag or balloon, and they were ready to test out their newfangled aerostat, or flying machine, in a public demonstration. Cloud in a bag. Some say Joseph Montgolfier's vision for ballooning struck while he absently watched his wife's undergarments, pinned to a line near the fire, float up in the heat. But the concept behind hot air ballooning was already centuries old when Montgolfier connected the dots. 2,000 years earlier, the Greek mathematician Archimedes had proposed, in his scientific treatise On Floating Bodies, that an object immersed in a fluid is lifted by a force equal to the weight it displaces. By 1766, when two English chemists discovered hydrogen, they called it inflammable air, a substance weighing just 1/14 as much as oxygen, scientists were beginning to see the implications for flight. With Archimedes' principle in mind, Tiberius Cavallo, an Italian scientist living in England at the time, tried his hand at containing hydrogen in paper balloons. Since the substance was lighter than air, it stood to reason that the container would rise until its weight equaled that of the atmosphere around it. But the wily gas escaped through fibers in the paper, and Cavallo's balloons wilted. Montgolfier picked up where his Italian colleague left off, filling paper and later silk globes with inflammable air. But like Cavallo's before him, Montgolfier's creations floated only a few feet and then sank. Seeking another lighter-than-air substance, one easier to contain than hydrogen, Montgolfier set out to mimic the way smoke and clouds rise in the atmosphere. His colleague's goal, wrote Cavallo, was to enclose a cloud in a bag. The lifting cloud would then whisk the bag along with it. But with no way to capture a cloud as a lifting agent, Montgolfier settled on smoke. He recruited his brother Étienne, and throughout early 1783, the enthusiastic brothers experimented with different combinations of cloth and paper for their envelope, inflating bigger and bigger bags. By late spring of 1783, they had settled on a paper liner inside a strong linen balloon skin 110 feet around, with a volume of 22,000 cubic feet, and were ready to fill it with smoke. The smellier the better, Joseph believed. To supply the stink, he heaped everything from damp straw and wool to rancid meat and old shoes into the fire burner under the balloon. What the Montgolfiers didn't yet know, it wasn't smoke that made the air in a balloon expand and rise. It was heat. The hot air inside is lighter than the cool air outside, causing the balloon to float up, as if in water.